What the actual I was planning on making a post about this, but since I have a lot of things to say, I decided to make a video. So prepare yourself for what you're about to hear. 7 out of 8 Hearts2Hearts members dropped out of school. Yes, you heard that right. But hey, it gets worse. 6 out of 8 members dropped out of middle school. Carmen finished high school and Stella dropped out of high school. The rest of the group, aka Jiu, Ian, Yeon, Yuha, Juan, and Anna, dropped out of middle school. Why? Because they wanted to train. They probably felt that they wouldn't debut if they didn't train enough, and they were pushed to train so much that they stopped going to school. Just like KG explained how she was advised to stay in the practice room later than everyone. That is crazy. And just think of the girls who didn't debut. They have no diploma and no insurance of debuting soon. Imagine dropping out of 8th or 9th grade and then you still haven't debuted when you're 19. What are you gonna do then? Of course they can figure something out, but it's so disgusting. And now we've got a group of idols under SM who are uneducated kids while being 18 years old. And then people are surprised that idols say the N-word and do cultural appropriation. Well, here is part of the problem. They're uneducated. Don't be surprised if a Hearts2Hearts member screws up bad. I know that Korean school doesn't teach students about racism anyway, but still, having education until high school can lead to being more critical and thinking, is what am I doing right or will it hurt someone? But these idols who drop out of middle school won't even have this thought because their brains aren't fully educated and developed. You know, in France, we only do philosophy in 12th grade, which is the last year of high school, and it forms even more the brain to certain topics that need deeper thoughts. Well, congrats Carmen, you've got a bunch of uneducated Korean girls to handle. At least Stella started high school, even though she dropped out, so Carmen isn't fully alone. But it's crazy that I'm saying it's good that Stella started high school. Like, that should be something obvious. Now, of course, it's possible that after debut, the youngest members like Yeon and Ian, who are only 15 years old, may have gone back to school, and I hope so, because imagine if a member gets kicked out after a controversy and has no diploma. Unless they have a solid fan base that will guarantee a successful solo career, or if they are pretty enough to be models or actresses, they are screwed. I'm not hating on Hearts2Hearts, I like the group and the members, but I want to criticize the training system and SM Entertainment for making trainees feel like they have to quit school in order to debut. It's disgusting. I hope they still access education, at least online like Carmen did. Now that they've debuted and are safe as idols, it's never too late, though let me remind you, Jiu is turning 19 years old in 3 months. And all my thoughts to the poor trainees who drop out thinking they'll debut and they don't debut in the end. Poor kids. And mad respect to idols like Yuyeon of Triple S who are going to university while being an idol, never giving up on studies. And yeah, that's all for today. It's pretty short, but I needed to rant about this. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Have a nice day, and remember, never drop out of school.